the impacts to homeowners, businesses, and the environment. And whereas the Wisconsin DOT project team has held more than 400 meetings with residents, businesses, community leaders, elected officials, and concerned citizens regarding the project. Most recently, there's a public hearing held on December 5th. Was it not? That was that Wednesday. I'll have to change that. And that was at Mahone Middle School in the city of Kenosha, when the Wisconsin DOT showed its preferred alternative to the community, which included the modernization of I-94 with capacity expansion to 8 lanes. Whereas the modernization option within Kenosha and Racine counties would provide for the construction of 4 lanes northbound and 4 lanes southbound, provide for a consistent width for inside and outside shoulders, provide for a new paved median with concrete barrier, would push out the frontage roads on either side of the freeway in order to create wider ditches, thereby improving the quality of stormwater runoff for the freeway and providing a buffer between the freeway and the frontage road traffic, and providing for retaining walls where necessary because the slopes between the freeway and frontage roads would be steeper. And whereas the modernization with capacity expansion lanes alternative improves safety more than the modernization option, moves ramp exits to the right side of the freeway, minimizes current and future congestion, which results in fewer crashes, less waiting time, and safer driving on the freeway, replaces deteriorating pavement and structures with new designs, minimizes impacts to local residents and the environment, and provides aesthetic treatments to those who live adjacent to the freeway. And whereas the Wisconsin DOT has divided the IH-94 reconstruction work into 2 parts. The first part updates 11 interchanges along the interstate in Racine and Kenosha counties based on recommendations from a separate study. The second part addresses the stretch of I-94 freeway from the middle interchange in Milwaukee to the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. Whereas an environmental study has been ongoing for 22 months and the draft EIS, Environmental Impact Study, has been prepared, which addresses the purpose of the project, alternatives considered, environmental impacts and mitigation, impacts on aesthetic resources, public lands, agricultural resources, air quality, including an analysis, ozone, carbon monoxide, particulate matter, and mobile source air monoxide, local government and public input and preferred alternatives. Whereas the Village of Pleasant Prairie supports the I-94 South Freeway Corridor project alternatives as presented for the reasons stated herein. Now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Pleasant Prairie on the 17th day of December 2007 hereby supports the I-94 North-South Freeway Corridor project as prepared by the Wisconsin DOT and presented at the public hearing in Kenosha on December 5th, 2007. I just wanted to mention that at the last staff meeting with the DOT representatives, we also did discuss a number of improvements that they are going to be making to the ML bridge as well as Highway 165 bridge. As you know, those bridge improvements were made a number of years ago by the DOT, but in order to integrate those 2 bridge areas into the entire corridor, they're looking at doing some modifications by painting the Q bridge, the 165 bridge, and they're going to be doing some painting and installation of some fencing along the top and possibly installing some additional identification markers or logos that identify the name of the street on the bridge embankment, as well as some landscaping that they intend to help beautify those bridges. So we're going to work with them on some of those other elements as well, but they are looking for local consensus. They need to proceed and submit this document to the Federal Highway Commission.
Motion 2. Second. Motion by Monica. Second by Clyde. Further discussion on this item? Mike?
Just a question. I've heard, I've heard different figures on the height of the Highway C overpass. What's the ultimate height going to be raised to?
I believe it's 5 to 7 feet additional, but it will be extending further north now because they will need to do some additional increases as they get north to Highway 50. One of the changes, again, with this plan from the last time we talked about this project is that the overpass between Bristol and Pleasant Prairie south of Highway 50 will not be constructed any longer due to the amount of economic development and commercial projects in the city of Kenosha next to Best Buy and then going over to the Kenosha Town Center. They are going to be building a diamond, I think they're now going underneath to be perfectly honest. I think the last set of plans showed that there's going to be a connection, but it'll be underneath the expressway, thereby bringing the expressway up a little higher in that location as well.
I think on Clifton C is 12 feet.
I think that they're bringing it down and going up. So I don't know that it's
You have
12.
to raise it on the floodplain, or C crosses underneath.
Right. I will find out for sure, but I thought it was, I heard recently it was right around 7 because they're going down and up.
It's a lot of dirt.
They are looking for borrow sites.
Wow.
Steve?
Yeah, I got a question for Gene. It's somehow related to this. It's the fact that I talk to many people in these meetings, and I never get an answer. How come we're building wider interstates, and still the traffic of the trucks are not limited to the 2 right lines? I thought it noise a lot, interstates, and they're limited.
Well, I don't.
Right side, I don't know why we want to discuss it, which is a problem. I thought that from the south side of Chicago to the north side of Milwaukee, to me, it's a problem with trucks.
They have not discussed those details specifically with local communities, but I can find out. I know that there was considerable discussion about having parking lane added. I know about restrictions of trucks to certain lanes. Again, I can ask that at one of our next meetings. I'm not sure that it's not part of the